Hey VC, how's everyone doing? So as you might be able to tell, in the last couple of week or two, I've been putting up more videos recently. I guess I'm just really feeling it, getting excited about the things I'm seeing, finding some cool stuff in the area around me with vinyls, and really getting inspired and just thinking about the VC a lot when I'm not even here doing videos. You know, it's just a fun community, man. Such a great thing to be a part of. Starting to feel like I'm finally coming into my own, starting to come around with, like, you know, having a nice little, you know, some of you guys have tons and tons of stuff, and for me, it just sort of like starting to get my collection going, you know, with like, you know, almost like shelf and a half, 2 shelves worth of records, and I'm starting to feel like I'm not necessarily the new guy anymore. Not that there's a problem being the new guy, but it just feels funny that, like, you know, I'm like, man, okay, I'm getting some good people, getting some subscriptions, getting some great comments, making some really great friends. I can feel these friendships growing with some people. It's just fun, man. You know, and particularly, I wanted to give a little shout out. My man Henry, the boy Ellis. My man Henry, his username is To The Boy Ellis. I think most of you guys who are watching this probably already came across Henry's stuff. I want to give a shout out to you, Henry, man. Like, you've been around for just a little bit, and you're coming along great already, man. You got a lot of people, like, just loving your stuff, and it's hard not to, man. Like, you got a great personality, really fun to listen to. I like the blunt and the honesty. It's actually really fun to watch. Really crazy good range of music. Like, most stuff you show I don't actually know, and then when you do, I'm like excited because I'm like, oh man, cool, I'm on Henry's level. I'm just joking, but you know what I mean. But you know, I got a love for you, man. You're definitely awesome to see, and I'm excited to watch all your videos that you're posting up more and more. Now, I'll get to what you're listening to in a second. This part that I'm showing right here, as you can tell above, this is a thread. You know, way back I had a thing that said thread. I had to post a video that said thread. You know, and wanted to know about how people actually how to categorize your music. I never got any responses from it. I didn't really care, but I could see maybe it just wasn't really a good thread. And I see all these great threads going, and I do responses, and I wanted to post one, you know, but I never knew what it was going to be, and I was like, I didn't really think about it too much, and I thought maybe a good idea for a thread would just pop into my mind. And recently I've been thinking, like, what could be a good thread? Dude, today it just came to me, and I'm really hoping at least maybe the people who I'm good friends with can maybe give me a little feedback and give me a video back, just to sort of make me feel like, you know, maybe this story can go places. But I think this might be a good one. I hope I get some good responses. I think it's a fun thing. I'm excited to start my own first thread. So what this thread is going to be called is it's called Absolutely Love It, Hard to Explain It. Absolutely love it, hard to explain it. This record you're hearing right now, I'm going to actually show it to you, and it's what sparked the idea. Basically, I just introduce a thread right now, and then I'm going to give my response. So in this thread, I want you to show an album that, you know, really has, that you really love, you find a fascination with, you love listening to, can't get enough of, just something that really has a special place in your heart in any way. But if someone asks you to explain why you love it, it might be hard for you to do. Or if someone heard you listening to it and it was playing, they might look at you strange, but like, really? Something that you feel like you're even surprised, like, man, I'm surprised, I really love this, but I do. So I'm sure you guys get the gist what I'm looking for. Absolutely love it, hard to explain it. And then this video is actually going to be about trying to explain it. And I think this might be a really good thing, because I think I might get some really cool stuff. And when I see this type of responses, this particular idea of a record that's not for everyone, that might just be your thing, that other people tend to not fall to and follow, I'd be interested to actually download them or find the vinyls of them and check them out. Because when I get into those records, it'll give me a better idea of who you are. And that's what we're all trying to do here. So I feel like this thread will work well in serving that purpose. Now, here's what I'm going to show you. This is a record that I've maybe showed once when I had some vinyl finds, possibly. But it always just really interested me, but I knew that I never could like really grasp the concept and know what to say about it, which is why this story came about. The cover is stimulating, the inside of the gatefold is stimulating, the music is stimulating, the lyrics are stimulating. It's all just like really, really intriguing. And what's really interesting is that, you know, when I try to get into some jazz music, it's not really my genre. I usually listen to the easier stuff. But this record seems to be one that's considered by, it seems to be a lot of people, from what I read online and just in general, from the sounds of it, one of the more out there jazz records. And for me, there's just something that just draws me in and attracts me to it. So, this is what I'm showing here. This is Listen to the Silence by George Russell. Okay? I don't never listened to George Russell before. It's the only record I have of his. He seems, what I'm reading up online, is that, you know, he's a very big avant-garde jazz musician, and that he actually, what I have here, sorry, I'm trying to have my notes right. He did something with music theory. Let's say here. Pianist, composer, and theorist. Considered one of the first jazz musicians to contribute to general music theory with a theory of harmony based on jazz rather than on European music, in his book The Lydian Chromatic Concept of Tonal Organization. Okay. This record here is put on Soul Note Records, alright, which is in an Italian jazz label. You know, as I said, you know, the artwork is very intriguing. I love it. And what you've been hearing, is like these chants, this chorus that's chanting. Now these words are really actually, there's lots in the lyrics, but it's so hard to wrap your head around sometimes. You just get the gist. Now the record is just split up into 4 sections. All right, there's event 1, 2, 3, and 4. The first 2 are quieter, the last 2 are more epic and bigger sounding. Alright? Now, there's sections here broken up. So, it'll say event, and it's almost like hard just to read the lyrics. You have you'll have chant group 1, hope this is doing something for some people if you can see this. Chant group 1, and then next to it will be chant group 2, and then sometimes you'll even have a chant group 1, 2, and 3, and they're all going on at the same exact time, and they're all saying different things. Now the album itself, sorry, read some stuff here. Let's see what try to remember that. All the compositions by Russell, the text credits, these are all things taken from things. These are taken from books. Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee by D. Brown. The Mark by Maurice Nicole. Duino Elegis by Rainer Maria Rilke. Okay? Now particularly, this Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee is it's by D. Brown, American writer, is a history of Native Americans in the American West in the late 19th century. He describes the people's displacements through forced relocations and years of warfare waged by the United States federal government. First published in 1970 to the strong reviews, although scholars criticize it on several grounds. So, the lyrics have this type of stuff that seems to be from the D. Brown stuff. It is as if we are all in our own unconscious, playing incredibly unreal roles in a diabolic game, looking for the answer, trying to find the reason, skipping some lines, asking the fundamental question of God and nature. Victims devouring victims, prey to the darkest demons in and about and around us. Demons, where do they come from? Devil, God, or nature? Devil or God, no matter. Demons. Devil and God become one. And it's just intense. Now you hear how these things go on, then all of a sudden you hear some jazz, you know, like nice bass lines, then all of a sudden these drums bust out. Now you're listening to the more, even, in my opinion, the more avant-garde stuff. The whole second side is a lot more of like straight louder jazz, but it still has all this stuff over here with all these people singing. Now this is interesting. It says here, Listen to the Silence was commissioned by the Norwegian Cultural Fund for the 1971 Kongsberg Jazz Festival, specifically for performance in the Kongsberg Church in Kongsberg, Norway. This is the live recording of the premiere performance held at the church on June 26, 1971. And then they released it in 1983. The conductor is Arnulf Hegstead. The bass soloist is Dan Wyndham. And there's all this other stuff about who was involved in the work. Just on the back. Now, what was interesting is that it seems that it's a big controversy in terms of if it's like crap or not. That's another thing. Like when you read on AllMusic, one thing says, quote unquote, "This CD really stinks," emphasizes one public commentary on the subject. To another listener, Russell created a harrowing work of conscience, defined in the dictionary as extremely distressing or an act of plunder. The word is a more than suitable description for the experience fans of Norwegian jazz have when embroiled in the Russell controversy. As a whole, Listen to the Silence is defined as a mass for orchestra and chorus in a series of vertical form works described by the composer as layers or strata of divergent modes of rhythmic behavior. Like, I'm telling you, like, some of this stuff does seem to go over my head. I feel like people like Derek or McSoapy or... Sorry, I keep drawing a blank on your name, but I know you, buddy, and I love you. Maybe know more about George Russell, or, you know, or Big Star, Fred, would know more about the George Russell. But, you know, man, right now... the chants attract me, and the lyrics attract me, and the music coming in and out, it's just so mesmerizing to me. I feel like you, my man Henry, also would like this type of stuff. It's eerie, it's creepy, it's all live too, man. Like, I'm really happy I have this, and I've been waiting to show it, but I feel like it deserved a special place of its own, so I never wanted to show it, and I feel like I never gave it justice, but hopefully this is, like, getting people interested. But I'm going to close it on that, and this can go on forever, and I'm just going to ramble in circles because it's so hard to explain. That's the thing. Absolutely love it, hard to explain it. So I really hope that I can see some great video responses from you guys, and I'm excited to see what you guys can bring forward to this thread. I hope it's a success. I'm looking for some friends of mine in the VC to hopefully help me out with getting this first thread off the ground. So yeah, all to you guys. Looking forward to some responses. Let's see what you got for me, guys. I'm ready to see what you got.